So today we're showing you how we can still eat veggies even when we're exhausted, because freeze-dried makes it so easy. We're both exhausted, not feeling well, so today's a pretty good test. We're going to show you how it's done with our garden peas.
Hi, I'm Kathy.
And I'm Melanie. Welcome or welcome back to Thriving Life.
Our goal is to give inspiration for natural nutrition.
Freeze-dried food with feeling and enjoying every day. Today we're going to showcase the garden peas. The idea is for this to be part of our series that's called Simple Side Dishes or Simple Sides. Because to me that's something like making an easy vegetable, just not a lot of ingredients, not a lot going on, but great flavor highlighting the vegetable. So we're going to do that today with the Thrivalist green peas. They're actually, the brand is Ready Harvest and Thrivalist is the company.
Just so you know what we're doing here, did 1.5 cups of water and 1 cup of the freeze-dried peas. And I'm just going to put that on the stove and bring it to a boil.
Once they come to a boil, they're going to go for 3 to 5 minutes. Now we say it's important to eat veggies, eat nutritious, and the thing is, like, when you're exhausted is kind of when you need nutrient-dense food the most, but that's like when it's the hardest to do it. So our goal here with this and the way we use freeze-dried ingredients is that it just makes it so easy. Like, I know it has to be almost as easy as not eating a vegetable to eat a vegetable.
Right. And peas are easy, but there are a lot of vegetables that have a lot of prep to them.
Yeah.
That we just don't have the energy for, unless they're freeze-dried.
Yeah. And peas are something that almost everybody eats. I mean, they're not your favorite, but even my nephews like them. They're often one of the first foods that we introduce to babies.
Yep.
You know, it's just the peas. My nephew actually really liked to eat them dry like this, snack on them right out of the can when he was young, and he used to fight with our previous dearly departed dog over them. One time we dropped half a can like this all over the floor, and it was a mad scramble to see who could pick up the most peas and eat them first.
Yes, off the floor.
Yes, well, yes, off the floor. But hey, it happens. These are gonna boil for 3 to 5 minutes, so think about, like, in that time we could also make our instant mashed potatoes, which we showed in a previous video. We could also refresh some chicken in that time. Let us know in the comments below if you'd like to see that, to do like kind of the whole meal at once. And yeah, it would be simple, but it would be something really easy. And peas are very nutrient dense. So a cup of peas, like we're using here today, actually has about 8 or 9 grams of protein and about 8 grams of fiber. So they're really good for keeping you full and satisfied in that way. And freeze drying, as we've talked about before, really preserves like 98% of the nutrition or more. So you are getting all the full nutrients as if you grew these peas in your own garden. Not our garden. They don't come out of our garden here in Canada, but as if you grew them in your own garden and you picked them and ate them the same day you picked them, like when they were super fresh like that. Because as you may know, like as soon as things are picked and they start to get transported here, they're technically,
yeah, in the can, they look just like peas, only they're dried, and the can was really full when we got it too.
Yeah.
So that's just starting to come to a boil now, so we're going to wait for 3 to 5 minutes. So that's
we say 3 to 5 minutes because, you know, everybody's stove is a little bit different, or the way they're timing or whatever. So just in there, the way you like your peas. As we were saying, it's totally fine to eat fresh, raw peas, if you will. And you can snack on them out of the can like that, or you could refresh them and still just eat them cold like that. You don't technically have to cook them. So it's really just about getting them to the texture that you like.
So this was 3.5 minutes, and I'm going to drain the water off.
And so if you don't like to waste the water, you could always, you know, think about keeping that for like a soup or something, doing that. But in this case, we were talking about how we're exhausted and we just want things to be easy. You could also, for that matter, do them in the microwave. Like if you didn't want to do a pot or the stove for some reason, and it was easier to just throw it in the microwave. But if you think about it, the 3 to 5 minutes, like, that's the same amount of time a microwave dinner would take. So this is going to be a lot healthier. And as I said, especially if you have like maybe you have some leftover chicken in the fridge and you just need a vegetable to go with it. It's typically pretty easy for us to have the things like the meats and the starches like instant or prepared from the store. It's not as easy to have vegetables or to think about vegetables like that. So hopefully this is giving you a good option for an easy, simple side that you can just think, oh, it seems like this plate just needs a vegetable, and you can have it in less than 5 minutes.
And I just added a tablespoon of butter and a little bit of salt and pepper.
Yeah, a little bit of butter, salt, pepper. So these are what we call our secret peas, because this is always the way Mom used to make peas with frozen peas, which was fine. We didn't know. Yeah, but in the beginning, the very first time we were trying freeze-dried, Mom just switched them in and started using freeze-dried peas instead. And we couldn't tell the difference except to say like, wow, these peas are especially good tonight. And that was the freeze-dried secret. So that's why we call them the freeze-dried secret peas. And you'll see the recipe on our blog. I'll put all that information in the comments below, including the link to where you can get the freeze-dried peas that we have here if you're interested.
And the freeze-dried, like, it just really keeps the flavor. So, like, if you taste the fruits, the raspberries, strawberries, so much more flavorful than what you get in the grocery store. So I think that's what was the secret with the peas. That
it kind of has that freshness. As I said, we used to do frozen. Lots of people do frozen peas. And those are pretty good too. But often I think ours are probably a little bit freezer burnt, you know, because things just stick in the freezer and they never come out. And
if they thaw at all between the store and getting them in your freezer, they freeze together in a lump, and you're whacking them on the counter to try and get enough to get them in the pot. Yeah.
So there's something about that doesn't seem super friendly for low energy people like us sometimes, right? So yeah, this is just another option, a great option. As I said, all those nutrients in peas. And also, like for us, freezer space is at a premium. You know, by the time you get whatever, a couple things of ice cream, or non-dairy ice cream in my case, or a couple things of the elusive gluten-free, dairy-free pizzas, or things like that. That's pretty much it. And the ice cubes, that's about all you can fit in this freezer conveniently. So yeah, this is another great way to do it.
So simple, took under 5 minutes.
Yeah, under 5 minutes to have a great vegetable on the side of your plate. And as I said, all that protein and fiber, so it can help you feel full longer. And that's what we need on a day when we're exhausted, just something that you hardly even have to think about. So as I said, we will put the recipe and the measurements, even though it's pretty intuitive. Like you could really just make stuff the way you want to make it. You don't have to follow our measurements. But if you're feeling overwhelmed and you just like, you don't even want to have to think about it, that's what the measurements are there for. So you just do it the same every time and just don't worry about it turning out right. So thank you for watching. If this video wasn't to your taste, well, we hope you like the next one. About how to mix. It's hard, okay?
I thought I was starting with hi, I'm Kathy.